switch it automatically. Oh, hey! Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a thrice weekly campaign set in the beautiful, wonderful world of North Imea. I'm here with, we'll say, 3/4. I can't math. Of our Unearthed Arcanum crew. Everybody, go ahead and look at the camera and wave and say hi.
Hi.
I just realized I had you guys off for the stream, or not for the stream, just for what I could hear. So we are missing. We're missing a couple of people tonight for a couple of reasons, but we miss them both very, very much. I know Kiki is in the ether somewhere, so we miss you guys, and we hope you guys are doing great. But so we're going to move forward either way. Let's see. One thing we forgot to do is to figure out who is going to be leading off where we left off. Did we have any takers?
I'm doing it.
All right, cool. Dan, whenever you're ready.
Yes. So, last time you left me and my friends, we finally met up with Fine Shelly, and she had us sign waivers, essentially.
Did you say Fine Shelly?
Fine Shelly,
That's
yes.
Fine Shelly.
Oh, got it. Sorry, continue. I apologize for interrupting.
Brucelli, Fine as May Wine Shelly. Signed, had us sign essentially death waivers in case we end up suffering a permanent accident in my good buddy Al's mind. And it seemed that one person didn't have someone to sign, but she ended up signing someone for him. That was Nene. And we ended up in Al's mind. Honestly, it really kind of felt like I was doing my man a mischief. Like, it just didn't feel right sitting in his mind. But as we move, we're going through his memories, and I'm starting to think that he remembers things pretty much from his own perspective. But I suppose that's normal, because turns out Gwen was very important to him. In all of his memories, she was essentially the light present in them. And I thought he and I were thick as thieves, but he ended up misremembering the situation where he thought I pushed him into the fountain out front in the Ludi. But really our mutual bully was the one who shoved me, but that's not what he saw. And he doubled down on what he believed he saw. Then we get a little bit deeper into these memories, and Lil Man Yori finds a bag of owls and goes rummaging through it. Finds some admittedly little incorrect things about fairies being documented there. Didn't really rub Little Man the right way, but I think he and Al came to an understanding at the time. In this time, we've been trying to also kind of let him know that, hey, we got to face this thing head on. He really did not want to do this. Then we end up coming across a door that we all thought was going to be the root of his problems. But rather than open that door, he opens a different one, runs in. Then we get a memory between Al, Gwen, and your lovely narrator here. And I was asleep during this, so I didn't really know what happened, but my poor man tried to shoot his shot without asking his best buddy for some advice, and let's just say politely, it didn't go as intended. Another thing that I forgot to mention was the fact that Shiv, also going as Kara at this point, had done something that Al had explicitly forbade us to do. violate his mind and dig into something she wasn't supposed to. And she essentially read letters about the immediate aftermath of Al's perceived rejection and a letter to his mom essentially telling her that his relationship advice didn't work. Her relationship advice didn't work. I could have told him that. You never listen to your mom for dating advice. But, oh, and I forgot to mention, Lil Man had thought cookies. They apparently taste delicious. All this to kind of wrap things up. Shiv and Al kind of do Shiv and Al's thing of the constant back and forth. And he says, okay, you want to face danger? Let's go ahead into danger. And so we end up seeing what actually happened during he and Dr. Karan's little excursion and magical experiment. Al, eager to help, it seems like his emotions got the better of him, and something happened. He grabbed the wrong bottle. I don't even think he's aware of the fact he grabbed the wrong bottle. It was a bottle of wildfire. We don't know what happened to Dr. Karan, but what we do think is he might have opened up a portal to the Nine Hells. And as this situation coalesced, Al struggling with his memory so much, it looks like his id kind of won out, and I don't know. I think it's still a little mad at Gwyn for its perceived rejection. And when Gwyn tried to place herself between Al and the portal to hell, he went ahead and yeeted her on into the portal. Shiv wasn't gonna let her new best girlfriend go alone, so she jumped in with her, and that's where things left off. But I don't really know if I saw that too well. But that's where we left off.
All right, very cool. So jumping back into our space here. Yes, very, very nice. Thank you, Io. Oh, actually, we need to change the scene a little bit here. So we're going to start with the group that is left over. We'll start with the Alastaire's group at this point, as you guys have kind of split off into the space. We'll do this version. One second, gang. I gotta fix something on my end. Apologies. Okay, we'll deal with it. So coming back into our group from the explosion, we just kind of came from the very crazy sort of space where we had the explosion in Dr. Karan's basement as it was going in slow motion. We saw all of these things happen. We see Gwyn get thrown through a portal that was in the memory, but oddly interactive in this. We saw Alastaire face a version of himself that seemed to have their own sense of consciousness, and we are now currently kind of dealing with the after effects of that. So what I would do is at this point, I'd like everybody to go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That is
19.
A 12.
Same as Alastaire, 12.
Just what you get?
Oh, you want me to roll too, even though I'm not there?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're not in the
Okay.
scene. Sorry. Yep,
Yeah.
apologies. So a 19 and two 12s. Was it Yori that got the 19?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Yori, with a So, well, actually, we'll start from the 12s. So after, excuse me. After our big explosion happened, we kind of like cut immediately to black. The next thing we know, we actually see our heroes, specifically Alastaire, Yori, Io, and Nalani, all kind of like in a heap, lying face down, face up, in a place that actually kind of looks somewhat familiar. And I'll say, Yori, you're kind of like the first one to kind of pick your head up. You can see there are, you actually feel as you kind of pick your head up, you can see like, you can feel your cheek kind of brushing against the grass as you're looking around, and it looks like you're in some sort of forest. The rest of you start to kind of pick yourselves up looking around. And we'll say with that 12, you notice this looks somewhat familiar. It's a, at this point, there's a good chance that you feel like you might be still in some sort of memory from Alastaire. But you're not entirely sure. Yori, with a 19, you notice, I'd say you, as you all kind of like getting up and like kind of wiping the dirt off your clothes or whatever. 19, Yori specifically will say, especially when you kind of got up, you notice that you actually felt the grass itself. Standing where you are. This is a weird time to ask this, and I might have asked this before, but does Yori have, does Yori wear shoes?
You know what? I want to say no. I don't think he does. Yeah.
I thought it was worth asking at least. Yeah. So Yori, you feel the grass between your toes. You hear kind of that wind kind of whispering through, and you actually feel it on your face. You hear the rustling of the branches. With a 19, one of the interesting things is, and granted, there was probably less sensory sort of things that were happening in Alastaire's mind before, so for you to kind of experience and feel. Besides the cookies, you did notice the cookies kind of taste, they definitely tasted good, and but you probably don't notice until this point, like, this, I feel like my senses are at 100%, and I didn't realize that they were like maybe toned down to like 80 or 70% before. The rest of you don't really notice this, but I'll say, Yori, as you're looking around, you also see that in the distance, actually, we'll play with that scent. Actually, you actually hear you smell the slight, the very like slight aroma of like burning wood. And you're rather short, but you feel like you can kind of smell that it's kind of far off. Would you engage your wings at this time? It's your call.
No, I think at first, Alastaire, is this a memory of yours? It feels different.
Where's Gwen?
You don't remember?
Where are we right now? Are we?
I thought you would know. Aren't these your memories?
Yeah, there's a good chance that the response of Alastaire going, where are we, is a very scary statement to you all.
Do you remember what happened before the explosion?
Where is Gwen? Where? Io? Do you? He's on the phone. I don't. Yes, Yori, I understand what happened. I'm asking you what's happened since then. Where are we?
Do you remember throwing Gwen through a portal?
That was not me.
I suppose that's fair, but whatever that was, it looked like you, and it was a memory of who you were, possibly, or the person inside you. But you saw that,
grew up
right?
in the woods. You grew up in the woods, right?
Right, but we're not.
Which way would we go?
We need to go back to the lab. If you want to get where Gwen went, we need to go back to where you can make another portal, or else we need to just go. There's a fire that way. We could go toward that.
Yep, there's a
that
fire.
Way.
It doesn't. Okay, let's go that way. Okay, that's not how. That way?
Yeah.
You just.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'll head off in the direction of the fire, but on foot. I think you might be muted. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm muted. I thought I was actually able to speak.
No, I mean
Joe
was muted. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Io, are you good? If we're just gonna go this way, okay?
Man, no. We. What do you mean you don't know where we are? Is this not your mind? You don't have. Can't you conjure up a room?
Conjure up a room?
Or change the scenery? You were able to just wave your hand and things would happen. Can you not do that right now? We need to establish that right now. So, God damn it. Yeah, we gotta find Gwyn and we gotta find Shiv.
I think you guys, you're assuming that we're still. I don't know where we are.
We're not even in Celeste anymore, or Brucelli's.
So you can't just call. When we were before, when you wanted to call a door, you just made one appear. Can you make one appear?
Can you make a door appear?
We weren't in Yori's mind. We were in your mind.
I do attempt in whatever way Yori can think of to make a door appear in front of him.
Okay, cool. As you're looking at, so you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry about that. As you guys are looking out, we'll say Yori specifically, you're kind of in this like space where you are right now. There is an area where there's trees that are a little bit further off. So you look at like a spot on the ground and you just imagine a doorway there, and you feel very silly doing it, and you continue to feel silly doing it.
No, I can't make a door appear.
DM, now that I can hear you. What does the sky look like right now? Is it a blue sky or?
It is not a blue sky. Actually, that's a good point. You guys see looking up, you do see that it is purple. You can see the same sort of like spaces of like the kind of the thunder sort of synapses kind of going across the sky every once in a while. But I will say, actually, Alastaire, go ahead and roll me a perception or an insight check. Your call.
Ooh, that's better. So perception 17.
Okay. With a 17, This is tricky because I don't think you saw this sort of thing happening in the sky before, as you would often enter by yourself. You may have, and it's your choice there. You might have seen it like the first time and wish that you didn't, and then therefore it just disappeared. But looking at it now, I'd say with the 17. Let me ask you this: do you think you were paying attention to you're paying attention to the sky before when you arrived in the beginning?
I think we've said this a couple of times about other things. I think probably in the first few times he was there, I think he crafted that whole thing to match some sort of image that he had, the perfectness. And I think he probably made it disappear, but over time it just came back and it's wallpaper to him at this point, so he probably didn't notice it. If that makes sense. A long way of me saying no.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think you notice that those things are happening. They seem. I think for you, you see those things and you immediately kind of like ignore it. Yeah, I think so. With a 17, that's what I'm going to say.
So I think while all this whole conversation has been going on, I think I'm more or less staring straight up at the sky. Especially after asking you to make a door. If I try and make that go away, if I do the kind of do this, does anything change at all?
Good question. What are you trying to do?
I don't want to see the purple sky. I want a blue sky.
Okay. You see. Okay. How I would imagine this is that you actually see. All of you see this. You see Alastaire kind of wave up in the air, and you see the purple sky. Just like this might sound cheesy, but I think this is really cool. It actually like just pans. So you actually see like almost as if it's like on some sort of rotating thing. It rotates to this like bright blue sky. You can immediately see the sun sort of shining down on you, and then you see it pan again and rotate again back.
I think you both just see Alastaire standing there with his hand.
Good. So we're still in your head. Take us back to the lab. Or do you know what's in the portal? You have to take us to where that portal goes.
Does it again.
Okay. This is good news. This means we're not separated from them. We can get them back. Al! We
What?
got to go. We have two friends who are in God's nowhere. We got to go get them. And you have to be the one in charge to do it. It's got to be you. You got to face your little man and yourself. Don't think that might have been you. I'm not exactly convinced. You got to face yourself. We got to go right where he showed up, and we got to confront that shit.
I think we need to be here.
Why do you think we need to be here?
Because we're here, Io. Because we're here right now. Yori, which way was the fire? There was a fire somewhere?
Are you
fire's
avoiding
not
things
important.
again? I think you're avoiding things.
Gwen and Kara are not here. We need to go to where they were. What was in the portal?
I don't know. You saw as much as I do, and I agree. We need to get Gwen
and Kara
back.
Actually, I apologize. That does bring up a slightly good point. Let's do a perception check for last session, because you would have watched Gwyn go through too.
all of us, or just Clinton?
No,
I'm assuming.
Just Clinton.
That's what
19.
19. Yeah, with a 19, I think you saw a barren wasteland. Not something you were very familiar with. I'd say from the perspective of where you were, because I imagined you were kind of on your knees, you did notice that the sky itself seemed to be, actually, I don't know what the sky was. You noticed the sky seemed to be a certain color, we'll say. I don't want to be wrong here, so I'm not going to pretend.
It was
Even though
dark
it's
red and empty.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you did see a dark red sky. You also probably saw a couple of, what did you roll? 19? Is that what you said?
19.
Yeah, I think you definitely saw some sort of like flying sort of like creature. They seemed like more like maybe like they could be bats, they could be dragons. It was hard to tell, but the wings looked definitely didn't look bird-like. So you did see that. I'll tell you that.
Have you ever had a problem that you desperately wanted to solve, and no matter how hard you worked at it, you just couldn't do it? And in that moment where you almost give up and you kind of just let your mind go, it just comes to you. Have you ever had a moment like that where the solution is just so close you could grab it, and as long as you reach for it, it just slowly moves away until you stop trying to grab it, and then it's just there?
I think I know what you mean. I don't think I tend to try to grab it in the first place. I think I just sort of go wherever you're supposed to go when you're going. But tell me that you're actually trying to solve that problem. Tell me that you're not avoiding something, or that you're not scared of that other you, or that you like, if you could make the other you appear right now, would you do it so that we can find out where they threw Gwen? Would you make that portal open up? Tell me that you would.
We need to hear that you would.
If I could make this all stop right now, I would.
But that's not what he asked. He asked if you could make the other you appear right now. Let's say that's the only solution.
You're more concerned. You're more concerned about that than getting Gwen and Siobhan back?
This is all you, man. This is all some aspect of you. So
asking the person who threw them in the portal makes more sense than going to find a random fire that might be out here in the middle of we don't know where. If you could do those things, then we should do them, because or if you could take us back to the lab and make another portal, we should do that. If you can't do them, that's fine. We'll go to the fire and we'll keep following this path. But I need to know, I need to hear you say that you can't do them.
Because you're supposed to be king of this castle. The sun's supposed to set when you will it. It's supposed to rise when you will it.
I think you know very well, Io, that I may not be as in charge and in control of things here as you make it out to be. Yori, if I could do those things, I absolutely would.
I believe you. And that's all I needed to hear. And Yori's gonna fly up into the air as high as you can to try and see where the fire is and where they're at.
Okay. You're definitely gonna get something no matter what. But go ahead and roll me an investigation check, or actually,
Sure.
excuse me, I'll say survival or nature. I'm good with either.
Let's see what We'll do survival. Yeah. That's a solid 7.
For which one? Survival. Okay.
Yeah, survival. Sorry, survival 7. Yeah.
That's okay. So as you fly up, you see in the distance, probably about, judging from your viewpoint, which is hard to see. You're kind of just above the canopy here. You can see that the trees are slightly different, sort of like levels, so it's hard to see what is like normal ground and what might be hills.
Yori's eyes are a little blurry for some reason. There's, you know,
yes, absolutely,
some water in them or something.
Something. You fly up and you're looking intently. I think you're kind of just trying to like wipe your eyes, try to see what you're. You do see smoke. But you legitimately can't tell how far away it is. It looks far. That's all I can give you with that number.
All right. So he'll land and just say, it's that way. If we don't know what to do, we'll put one foot in front of the other and we'll go find our friends. Let's go. It's far away. How fast can you move? How does your leg feel at this point?
That's a good question. If I can answer that, it's your call. Unless you have an idea.
Well, I saw you rolled 2, so I rolled a 6. What'd you roll?
I rolled an 11, so I get to say.
Okay.
Your leg feels fine. And I would say in this moment, this is actually kind of a little bit of a. This isn't something interesting enough that I would say go ahead and roll me a. Yeah, I'd say roll me an insight check.
9.
9. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's odd because in your mind, when you're here alone, when you're in your mind alone, your leg feels fine. You definitely felt it hurting when you were going through those other memories. You can feel it kind of like starting to kind of become, but here it feels good.
I'm good. We can, actually, if you've never seen this, but I could run.
Well, let's see. Let's see who's faster. We're going that way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take off.
Okay.
All right. It's to be a race then.
Yeah.
I'll try and keep up with y'all.
Awesome. So I will say, as you guys are going through, I will say because you are running, which means you're trying to gain distance over being wary, go ahead and roll me a stealth check with disadvantage.
Since I'll normally get advantage on stealth checks, is it straight roll for me then?
Straight roll. Yep.
Right,
What was your advantage for?
I think it's just from having high dex. No, my boots. The boots you gave me. The boots you gave me.
I was saying
That's
that will
what's
never
wrong.
be a thing.
I was like, I know it's from something, and then I clicked on the button, and
That's
it's like,
just so
what it
high you get
was.
advantage on stealth. Yeah.
Yeah. Just give it.
Does that work for everything?
Woo, that'd be awesome, though.
That is a 12 for me.
Same here.
Okay.
Again.
11.
Okay.
It's true.
That is
Well,
very true, Kiki.
So we had a 12 and a what?
2 12 and
11.
an 11.
Yeah.
2 12s and 11. Got it. Okay, cool. All right. And you guys take off. And as you take off, the camera does not follow you. You are running through the trees far and away. I would say the camera kind of zooms up and you can see a distance that looks miles off. You can see that just smoke sort of rising up into and really just kind of turning into the purple of the sky. And with that, we're going to pause you there. So, I gotta have something different for Gwyn. Try this one.
I hope it's just metal.
Yeah.
It got scary.
Mm-hmm.
Gwyn, you lift your face up off of the. I would say it almost just seems like it'd be like soot, but it's a little bit cracked. You can actually feel like, in the same vein, you actually feel as you lift your head up, you can feel the like soot and sediment kind of like fall off your face and onto the ground. You see Siobhan is not moving. I would say face down next to you. Yeah, you start to kind of like brush yourself off. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
3.
3. Well, you don't see nothing. So, I will say you definitely notice you see around you is a ground itself that has like it's only really maybe 3 shades. You see black, a dark brown, and then just like a lighter sort of almost like an ashen gray sort of texture, and everything is some sort of version of that pretty much everywhere you look except for up. You notice the ground itself seems to be stiff and craggy. You feel like you're on some sort of like some sort of rock formation. You definitely feel a heat in this place. You actually kind of feel like you like touch your fingertips and you can feel that you're actually you feel that the moisture between your fingers from just the sweat is enough that you actually see them like as they kind of pull apart. You see the water try to collect with each other. I think with a 3, you at this point you're more worried about Siobhan.
Yeah, she would I think she would also look around like behind them to make sure the portal is gone, like not still there. They can't just go right back through.
Yeah, you don't see anything.
And then go immediately over and try to shake Siobhan awake. I think as she does that, just not having a good feeling about this place, she's going to try to cast Armor of Agathis on herself. She's not certain if they're still in Al's mind, if it would even work if they were. I don't remember if anybody tried casting magic in Al's mind last session. I don't think we did, so don't even know if that sort of works.
Okay. I'm sorry, what were you casting? I apologize.
Armor of Agathis. Just
Okay.
so I have that up. Last an hour. If it works.
Yeah, you notice that you notice the same sort of thing happen that would normally happen when you cast that spell. You feel your body kind of start to cool a little bit. You can notice that the we'll say at least role play wise in this place, you notice that your Armor of Agathis almost immediately starts to kind of melt very slowly, but like
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. And then yeah, she would definitely try waking Siobhan up.
Okay. Siobhan kind of just eyes open with a startle. Are you okay?
I think so. I don't know where we are though.
Yeah. I guess the portal's gone, huh?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, she immediately gets to her feet. Yeah. Any sign of the others? Probably not, right?
No. They're, I don't know, still back. Where
God, Alastaire,
everything
what the fuck is this?
Well, does this... So I'm assuming when we were in Alastaire's mind before, I assume even though like Gwen's perception is shit, we know this, but there's still probably a feel to Alastaire's thoughts. Does this, like when we were in there, like just the way people think probably affects
I would
like
say go ahead and roll me an
sense of
insight check. But
Alastaire?
yeah, I think roll me an insight
Yeah.
check. But I'm going to say that the first part of this is really actually focused on yourself
Yeah.
for this. So.
Okay. That's not bad. It's an 11.
Okay.
It's not great, but it's okay.
All right. With an 11, you look up. You don't see the same purple sky. You feel like. I think with an 11, you're really not sure. You don't. For Alistaire's brain, it was so alien to begin with.
Yeah.
You tried your best to kind of try to collect everything that would be noticeable as you guys are walking through there, but you're not sure. You feel like, I will say this, you feel like there is an uncomfortable, I mean, now that you have armor back, this probably evens out, but I would say there is an uncomfortable amount of heat.
Yeah, I mean,
coming
she's
from this
resistant to
place.
heat anyway, so probably she's less affected than Siobhan probably is.
Yeah.
But still, she's
Looking
not
over at
immune to
Siobhan,
it.
you can see
so.
you can see like kind of like a drop, like a bead of sweat kind of coming off the side of her face.
Yeah.
Siobhan kind of looks around, and I believe it was Siobhan that recognized what this place was, if I recall.
Yes.
It was one of you, so yeah. So she says, I don't see how this could be where we are. So I assume we're in some sort of fucked up Alastaire version of this place, but this is very reminiscent of the Nine Hells.
That's that would have been my guess.
Yeah. Hopefully around
Definitely
the outskirts.
not the Feywild.
No.
I'm just like looking around. We should probably find shelter, or I don't know how to get us back.
Well, I mean, we get a lay of the land, find where there could at least be some shadow to kind of block it. Well, I don't see any sun.
No. I'm assuming even with her shitty perception, she sees the giant flying things in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see them. And they're very far off.
Yeah.
I will say also, as you both look up, you see that there is a, ironically, in the idea of like seeing if there's a sun, you do see in the very far distance, you see what looks to be like a sun, maybe for a second. You see that it's moving. And I would say it takes a second for you to be able to understand that from the distance of where it's at, it looks like it's moving downward.
Okay.
I would say miles and miles and miles away. But as you guys continue to kind of like get your bearings, eventually as you see it kind of dropping lower and lower, eventually you do hear the in the distance.
Oh boy.
You don't feel like the ground shake or anything like that, but
does it, as we walk, do we feel like we're getting closer to the horizon, or does it like stay equidistant, like we're not really making any progress towards anything as we walk around?
Yeah, I would say from the distance where you are, you kind of just look like you're smack dab in the middle. Like looking fully around, you can see that there's a distant. I would say the closest like land formation that from your perspective kind of looks like a mountain, but it looks like it's like almost like kind of like cut off, like plateaued at the top. You start to kind of run over in that. You start to kind of walk over in that direction or point it out, and then Siobhan goes, "I don't know. I mean, it might not be active, but I saw volcanoes here."
Well, that's just fantastic.
But I mean, I guess it's as good as any. I don't know. I don't see this.
I think we just pick a direction. I don't really think that it matters.
Okay. Do you think you walk? We'll say just this. Do you think you walk towards the mountain, or do you want to just roll a d4 and see what direction you go?
I think walk towards the mountain because at least it's a landmark.
Right. Okay. So as you walk through, you notice Siobhan about maybe like 2 or 3 minutes into the 2 or 3 minutes into the journey, you hear her kind of just a slight pant from her. You turn around and you see she's just kind of like wiping her forehead. I'm fine. Go ahead.
Every so often, I will try to cool her down a little bit with prestidigitation, but it does not. It only creates like a puff of air, and it's probably warm air.
Yeah.
She tries to like do it over her shoulder where the armor is, so it maybe is like a little fan.
Got it.
And
I would say at some point in your journey, it's probably what you're about to say. At some point, as you're walking for it, Siobhan goes, actually, hold on. If that works, I'll say when you do the prestidigitations. Okay, cool. If that works, can you come here? Just give me your hands for a second.
Yeah.
And she casts protection from evil and good. Protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types, until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiend, and undead.
Awesome.
You cannot be creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. Target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. The target is already charmed. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you get it. Okay. So as you guys kind of travel on, I would like a stealth check. I'm going to see here on this side if there's. Yeah, there's not. Okay, cool.
I think it's a 13 for me.
Oh, jeez, I just rolled really low.
Stealth. Nope, sorry, it's a 12.
12. Okay. Sorry, Kiki, I rolled a 10. So, as you guys are walking off, I think there's a certain point where you actually start to see that the like rocky, craggy ground starts to kind of like come up slightly as you're beginning to kind of get into sort of the base sort of space of this mountain, and you're just kind of starting your journey upward. It's been probably maybe honestly like a solid maybe half hour or so.
Okay.
When you hear in the distance a voice, Siobhan kind of immediately spins around and just says flat out, "Who is that?" Someone's there. And you look over in that direction and you hear that voice, and it sounds familiar. Looking out, you see a very dark purplish hand attached to a very thin body, wearing robes that look almost like a judge's robes, waving out towards you. You see Dr. Karan.
Well, yeah, I think if Gwen recognizes him, she would head that way. And as we go, sort of exchanging glances with Siobhan, probably suggest like try to tell if he's physically there, if he seems more of like a manifestation.
He's pretty far off, so I think
Yeah.
you could have this conversation
Yeah.
RP-wise.
Yeah. So I doubt that this is probably more of Al's projection of Dr. Karan. But he also it's the first one that seems to have noticed that we're here. The other ones I don't think did. The students.
I don't know. I don't.
Well,
one more thing. Come here. And like touches your shoulder and casts Blessing of the Trickster on you. Advantage on dexterity, specifically stealth checks for 1 hour.
Okay.
So you goes, I don't know. Would there be a way to tell if you spent a lot of time with him? That's up to you. If you have.
I mean, I think she was in his class, but I don't think he was ever. Her interests were slightly different from Alastaire, so I don't think she would have been like in private study with him the way that Alastaire was or anything like that.
Yeah, okay. We'll call it like a straight roll if it comes up.
Yeah.
Okay. You get about maybe like 40 feet to Dr. Karan's. Oh, thank God. I have a Gwyn. I remember you from my class. Hello. There's a cave just behind me a ways. We could probably talk in there. It's a little bit out of the sun. Come on.
How did you get here?
Yeah, Siobhan, Siobhan for sure doesn't move.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of an odd story, actually. I was working with a friend of yours, actually, Alastaire. I was working with him on a project, and seems to have gone very awry. I've been here for some time. It's odd. There's a lot to discuss. I'd say he's gonna roll. Okay.
Yeah. I would say as he's talking, I'm kind of looking at him to see, is he too perfect? Like, is it more of a idealized version of who I remember Karan to be? Like, does he... It's hard to say because we haven't talked to him very much, but that's just what I'm looking for when we're in here. Like, does he seem off in any way to my own perception of him? Because I feel like Gwen would probably remember him a little bit more, not as fondly as Alastaire. Like, she didn't dislike him or anything like that, but
Sure.
he was just a professor, so.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I say go ahead and give me an insight check, but there's a couple things I'll probably connect with them in a straight roll.
Okay. So -2 is 15.
15.
Rolled pretty good.
All right. With a 15, you looking at Dr. Karan, you see he's a little stressed and I think the first thing that you notice with him is that he seems genuinely happy to see you. But I think on close inspection, there's an idea that if this, let's say Dr. Karan has been here since the beginning, Dr. Karan would be genuinely happy to see anyone.
Yep.
Yep. So I think with a 15, it's hard to kind of tell that.
Okay.
But I will say in the space of role play of building into the scene there, yeah, I think Dr. Karan may have even rubbed you the wrong way. I think with Gwyn, and feel free to obviously, you guys know this at any point in time, you can tell me I'm wrong. But Gwyn, you tried hard with Alastaire to try to get Alastaire to be able to be more sociable with other people, and not trying necessarily pushing him out of his comfort zone in a friendly sort of way. Of trying to kind of like say this is a great person. I want everybody to be able to experience him like I do. I just need to kind of smooth the edges a little bit. And I think you tried that for a time. You actually probably noticed that the more you tried that, the more Alastaire seemed to cling to Dr. Karan, because Dr. Karan did not seem to have any friends.
Yeah, I feel like Dr. Karan was the type to, not in a malicious way, but call like her Gretchen, like not get anybody's names right because he didn't really care to learn names unless you were exceptional in some way.
I love it. Then he called you Gretchen. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think she would look at Siobhan and just sort of nod and say, I think we can follow him a little bit, but let's not get too close.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
it's the first lead we have, and Dr. Karan is important to Alastaire. So
that's a good. And she's whispering. That's a good point. We had to kind of figure out, like, the goal is to get back to them. I don't know what.
Yeah, and Alastaire's goal is to find Dr. Karan, so they might align.
You're right. Okay. Gotcha. Listen, if anything happens, I need you. In this place, I'm more concerned about your safety than mine. I'll be honest. So I need you to just get behind me if something happens, all right? You can cast all the spells you want, but I'm sorry,
right.
No disrespect, but I'm a little hardier than you.
I don't know if that's true here, but
it's actually literally not true.
Literally, mechanically, nope.
I mean, she has a higher armor class than you, but yeah.
Yeah. But Gwen will agree because she knows that her biggest assets are from further away. She can be more effective if she's not up close. So she's definitely not agreeing to use Siobhan as a shield, but she is agreeing that she will stay back if she needs to.
Okay. Cool. As you guys travel into this sort of cave, and you see it, it looks like a cave. It has that it is not like perfectly symmetrical. It does it gives the sense of it looks like a natural sort of formation that may have caved in a certain amount of time, and something or someone dug it out. You are walking along. You can hear the echoes of your footsteps. You can even smell. This place itself seemed really dry, but as you kind of move closer down this cave, you actually kind of smell the slight bit of whatever is left over. What's the word? It might be just the sweat from yourselves, like you're not sure, but there's a little bit more
kind of like musty, sort of.
Yeah, it's as damp as a cave could be in a place like this.
All right, so here's one more weird question, just kind of for me, but for Gwen too. Gwen has been on a lot of archaeological digs. She is familiar with natural formation. She is familiar with that sort of thing. Does this feel like it's somebody's read about sort of archaeological digs in a book and recreated it in this space?
That's a really great question. I'm going to say with that question, give me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. Investigation is much better. Oh, that's going to be good. But what is investigation? Investigation is a +2, so 19.
19. Yeah, so with a 19, I'll say with a 19, it's hard to tell that, like specifically like if someone has just like it's like storybook like. But I think that's not to, but like in regards to the story, it has to be, right?
Right.
It has to be. You're not actually in someplace in the Nine Hells. You couldn't be. If you were, this is a very strange. Like, so there's a portal inside Alistaire's mind. Like everything about you is thinking in your head. We're still in Alistaire's mind, right?
Yeah.
So the version that we're seeing here has to be some sort of space of that. But you don't see anything that's proven that. I will say though, with a 19, you notice with a 19, your senses, and it took you until this moment here to realize that your senses seem to be turned up to 11. You're hearing the footsteps more clearer. You're smelling the air better than you feel like you might, even if you were really there. And you've been at places like this before, in some manner speaking.
Yeah.
You've been in dry climates. You know that it's a pretty good job, but everything is just turned up a little too much. It's
weird.
It's weird.
Yep. Okay. Good.
I think at this point, as you're walking along, Dr. Karan, who is still like kind of like slightly bent over in a way, is walking along, and you actually see you pass by tally marks that are like seem to have been driven into the wall. As you're passing by, seeing those tally marks, it look like they're probably around about the days that would make sense. So I'd say 37, somewhere around there, maybe. So you see those marks there. You see Dr. Karan kind of points out, don't mind that. That was, or sorry, no, actually it wouldn't be 37. It'd be like something like 24. So they don't exactly line up. Don't mind that. That was it's a troubling first couple of weeks, but I've managed to make something for myself. Come on, down this way, and you can hear down this way. As you're moving closer, you see there's probably a certain point where I think on Siobhan's side, there's a certain point where you actually we'll say just for the sake of pace, you manage to kind of like move the gap a little bit further apart between you and Siobhan, just accidentally, just from walking, and you see Siobhan. I'll say you guys are really close. I'll say Siobhan actually kind of reaches out and grabs your hand. Together, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Together.
You notice no insight check needed on this. You notice Siobhan is very worried about you. As you continue down, and I'll say this takes about maybe another 5 minutes or so. No, that would be crazy. I'll say 2 minutes. So after a while, you see that the cave itself opens up. I will make a note here because you did roll a 19 here. You walking 2 minutes in, there should be a certain point where you're starting to get into cave darkness. And it's right at that point, and this is something that you definitely catch. It's right at that point exactly when you notice another light is representing the other side.
Okay.
But it's too perfect. That's what you mark out. Goes this way. It's okay. It's gonna feel a little harder for a second, but trust me, I've figured things out. So Gretchen, how is the boy?
He's been looking for you.
Oh.
He's very worried.
That is Very kind of him, but don't worry, I think it'll be more likely that I'll be seeing him first. Very excited about this. Come on, let's continue. You see him kind of like slow, like sort of kind of pick up the pace. You headed off to what was it there? He can't seem to remember the place that you were at, which would be Morocco, by the way.
Yeah, I was just trying. Is there another town that I could tell him just to see the reaction that I get?
Oh, yeah. Okay. You could say Farah. You could say
She'll say
Mir.
Farah. Yeah,
Okay.
Farah.
Oh, yes, Farah. Not a lot known about Farah. Is there a place that, or is it something interesting that would be good knowledge to know for an old alchemist?
No, I don't think that there was much there for an alchemist.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I'm just, she's saying this, particularly just trying to take in, like, does anything happen to the environment? Kind of like, because Alastaire's mind would know that that's not true. So I'm just trying to see if, like, deliberately lying affects anything.
Not right now.
Okay. Something she's going to keep in mind as this goes on.
Okay. So you notice the red lights start to kind of get a little closer, and you see I think you also notice at this point that the light, if it's lava or any sort of fiery substance, is going to glow. It's going to there's going to be some sort of wave to it. This is 100% like it's constant. And it's up until this point. You're noticing that it's up until this point where you actually see walking up ahead. You say, "All right, don't look right at it, but little gizmo to keep the others out." And you kind of squinting look ahead, and you actually see that it is. It looks to be almost like some sort of what am I trying to say? Like a street lamp almost. It's as far as the invention of it goes, it looks like it's kind of bound together by these these blocks of wood. And I'll say you're getting to the point where you see that, and you can see that it is. It looks to be some sort of wire mesh material that looks. That doesn't look like form fitted at all. It looks like he's collected this from something left behind. But there's something magical that is glowing in that little in that lantern. We'll say that makeshift lantern. That he kind of insinuates is the idea of keeping enemies out. As you walk further along, you see there are a couple of stone tablets, in makeshift sort of tables, with just random pieces of junk. You see busted up pieces of metal that are kind of bent in weird ways. You notice that he has seemed to fashion for himself a couple of shiv-like objects from pieces of wood and what have you. You can see that it's a workshop in a survival sort of sense. You don't see anything that's made of glass or anything like that. It's at this point you notice that you see that a part of his robe is completely torn from the side. You can see that he used that to be binding something up, maybe. And you see that there is another kind of you see that there's kind of this other sort of makeshift I'm going to say it's a door. I'm going to say you actually see there is a door on the side of this wall of this cave formation. It's opened itself up out a little bit, and that looks to be natural. It looks like it's like some sort of air pocket or something. You see that it's about maybe roughly 40 by 40 feet around. It's pretty big. You see, well, good here for a minute. Feel free to catch your breath. I would offer anything to eat or drink, but no luck on that so far. But good news is I've been here long enough that it should have killed me, and it hasn't. So certainly hungry, but not dead. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Looks over at Siobhan, and Siobhan I think just looks straight up and just goes, I didn't give it. Oh, okay. Well, understood. I know this is very terrifying times, but please, both of you, take a seat. I wanted to show you my invention, but I don't know if it's fully ready yet. And you see him go open the door and then and walk into it.
Does the door look the same as the other doors in Alastaire's in the previous area? Or is this more of like a stone carved
Actually, yes,
door?
I think it would. I like that.
Okay. I'm going to exchange a glance with Siobhan. But then I'm going to head towards the door, but I will let her, take the lead, as I'm sure
Okay.
that's what she would want.
Yeah.
Be first through the door.
Yeah. She walked just. Whoa, wait. She puts her head to it just to be able to kind of hear. Okay, I don't hear anything. I don't know what's going to be on the other side of this door, so just brace yourself, okay?
You too. This isn't a safe place for you either.
Don't worry about me, okay? We got to get you out of here. And you see her, you see her go to quietly kind of like turn the doorknob and go to open the door. It's locked. Okay, that's all right. I somehow have my things in here. Thanks, Alastaire, for noticing that. And she goes to start to kind of pick the lock.
I think before she does that, I just want to try the door to see if it's locked for me as well.
Okay. You kind of. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. It is also locked for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will step back and let her do her thing.
Okay. You see her kind of like going to work, picking the lock. You see she's having a tough time with it. Okay. You see her like she's kind of like working with it, trying like if I think this is going to work, it should work, right? And just as she says that, you hear a king. It's okay. I got another one. It's fine. Right, Alastaire, do I have another? Yep, of course. Yep, I do. And goes to kind of work on it again. As this happened, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Low DC.
Okay, that's actually really good. That's 15. Roll the 17.
Okay. Nice. With a 15, yeah, good job. With a 15, looking around, you're kind of like you're looking around this place, and it is ultimately you notice there's a spot where it looks like some of the like dirt and soot have been kind of like swept away, and you see there's just a rock at one end of it. It makes you think, okay, that's where Dr. Karan sleeps. And in your head, you also think like, no, Gwyn, like this isn't real, right? Dr. Karan isn't sleeping anywhere. And it's at that moment that you actually see that reddish light start to kind of dim. Siobhan doesn't notice it. Siobhan's fully invested. What do you do?
So she's still working on opening the door?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What do I do?
We'll say like at this point, like it doesn't. It's not. It's not like Siobhan has made an inordinate amount of time working on the door. I'll just say
Yeah.
that.
And the red light in the room we're in is dimming.
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's almost it's not really like flickering out, but it is kind of like almost like it's
Kind of in this part of the ride isn't needed anymore, so it's going to go away.
interesting way to look at it. I don't know if I could say that. I would say it's just fading in and out.
Okay. Does it look like it's coming from the magic device that he had made? Yes.
Yep, that's the
Okay.
kind of lantern. thing.
Then I think, how far away is it? It's not very far, is it?
No, like 20 feet.
Okay. While Siobhan's working on the door, I'm gonna move like 15 feet closer and just try to get a better look at the device and just see if I can see what's going on with it.
Okay. No perception check required. It's a glowing light, so you're really trying to kind of like brace yourself as you see it.
Yeah.
But as the glow kind of comes down a little bit, you get to kind of look a little bit more into it, and you see there's something trapped in there. You see tiny little wings, just a little body with, I mean, it looks like humanoid, but it's like this big. You see it is kind of just looking all around. It too also seems to notice that the glow is dying out.
I think that Gwen would... How heavy does this device seem to be? Like, does it look heavier than 10 pounds?
How heavy does it look? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd say. I mean, it's also that it would be awkward. Like you're lifting up a pole that's heavier on one end than the other.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
She would call out to the little creature inside.
You can see that it definitely can hear you. It's kind of pushes itself kind of like up against the wire frames.
Yeah.
So you can't hear it.
Yeah, she's gonna do this. She's gonna cast Sending on the little fairy or whatever little creatures inside.
Okay.
And she's just gonna say, "What's your name? How long have you been in there? Who put you in there?"
Okay.
See if it works.
Let's make it a little difficult. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What's her plus? I think it's a +5. So that's just 14. Nope. Sorry, that's a 6. So 11.
Okay. So with an 11, I'll say it works, but you're hearing it kind of like coming in and out. Like it's like flickering, like it's fighting against something else that's here. But you hear now, like kind of just wrapping their fingers around what are essentially kind of like bars for them. You hear the voice go, Gwyn, you gotta, out, get out, now, Gwyn. You see that it's starting to kind of die more and more. At this point, you hear from the mouth of the cave. You hear a.
Great. She's gonna go back over. Does Siobhan look like she's made any progress on that door?
Not in this. Not in this. We'll say minute or so of this of what's happening.
All right. Gwen would say, Siobhan, I think we need to do something a little stupid.
Hold on, I almost have
Nope.
it.
And I'm gonna try to yank her back, and I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast on the door to open it.
Okay, cool. You cast Eldritch Blast on it. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Okay. That is a 26.
26. Alastair, keep in mind you gave me this.
Yeah, I know.
Oh boy. And for the audience, and I think Kiki's watching, Siobhan would definitely notice that there has been an anger simmering very deep in Gwen since we've arrived here. And it's kind of evident in her eyes at this point.
Okay. Do me a favor. I'll make you roll it. Go ahead and roll me a d6, Gwen.
6.
Okay. That's what you want.
Okay. I was like, this is gonna be good or bad.
Awesome. You blast at the door. You see the in that first hit, you can see kind of that like charry sort of black thing of the response that you've had from that door. No give right now at this point. But you're gonna hear Siobhan kind of just yelling at you. What are you doing? And you like just look over at Siobhan for a second, and you see you're having trouble seeing Siobhan as it's starting to go out.
Yikes.
I'm gonna pause you there.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm gonna say no. We'll come back. So we'll go to our other friends. So as you guys are running along through the forest, looking for trying to kind of keep yourself on the path, I'm gonna say go ahead and roll me another survival check because I think eventually you're consistently kind of like diving in and out of the canopy.
11.
11. Okay, cool. You're having to continuously do this. You actually feel like you're kind of falling off track a couple times. So there's certain points where they're changing directions. I'd say you're doing this for about an hour. And just for the record, you kind of look up and you see the smoke does look to be like a little bit closer, so it's not you're not fighting a losing battle here in your mind. As Yori is up there, we'll say this is the like second time going up. Io and Alastair, you guys are catching your breath. Nalani is not catching his breath at all, just kind of like sitting there, just waiting for the rest of you to kind of hurry up and go. But yeah, there's a moment here for Io and Alastair if you guys want to take it.
I think I'll just busts out laughing.
What are you? Why are you laughing?
Man, I never thought I'd live to see a day where you was gonna beat me in a race.
I can pretty much do anything here.
Damn, man, this is. How does it feel?
Unreal, I guess. Listen, I know what you saw and what I saw, and I don't think poorly of you. I just listen, man. Yeah, you've been there for me more times than I can remember. But it just everyone is always trying to put me in some box, and kind of remember when they do that.
Yeah. I I know I've been guilty of that too at times. Sometimes, especially when you kind of give it straight to somebody no chaser, especially me. It's kind of easy to put you in the he's just an asshole box. Um, or I mean, there's even times I know you don't really want constant help when you're struggling with something. In the physical department, but I don't know. Like it's sometimes it's kind of easy to put myself ahead at times, but I don't think low of you either. Honestly, again, you're realistically the smartest guy I know. Mm, about putting yourself in a box, or people putting you in a box, and everyone kind of tends to do that.
Shut up. Shut up. Hold on. Shut up.
It,
Um,
we were having a moment here.
just hold on. And I think Alastair does like a 360 spin. And very softly, can I like reach out and so I would imagine like at one point I could access any part of my mind, but can I right now? Like not necessarily travel anywhere, but like do I feel like I have access to my whole mind? Am I in a box?
What are you wanting to do?
Push out, I guess, like do I feel like I can leave where I'm at? Do I feel like if I wanted to, could I leave? Not that I want to leave at this moment, but like I would know if I could. Or am I trapped where I'm at?
Let's say go ahead and roll an insight check.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Plus 1. 21.
With a natural 20, you just to kind of change the frame of mind a little bit for you on this point, is that actually you felt probably pretty comfortable up until about halfway through this talk with Io. All of a sudden you feel like you cannot. I'll say with a nat 20, it feels like something changed, but not when you stopped. It was like when it was just all of a sudden, and you can't, I'll say with it, because I'm trying to give you as much as I can with the nat 20, you do not feel like it was anything that happened on your part. At least you, particularly you. You also notice that Yori has not come back yet.
So with that thought, I think I will grab Io by the face and kiss you on the forehead. You're a fucking genius. We're in a box. We need to get out of this. This is why this is Yori.
Little help. Yori is stuck in the branches up in the trees above you.
What? Come down, Yori.
All right.
Yori, I would like another perception check as you're trying to wriggle yourself free. Just for the record, that was not a big like hoax. Like there's something secret and evil going on. I did have him roll under the table, but he just rolled a nat 1 in perception check. I was like, yeah, you fully just get stuck in the branches, dude. I don't know what else to tell you.
That one was a 12.
And it wasn't like the branches like came out and grabbed you. You just
got stuck.
I have been flying for like a day.
100%. I fully understand. Okay, you said a 12.
Mm-hmm.
With a 12, you see like you're how are you trying to get yourself down? We'll say just for RP's sake.
I probably I'm just like Let's take a hand axe and try to chop at whatever branch is sort of like holding me a little bit. See if I can get an arm out and just try to like, hack off a branch or something.
Okay, cool. I'll say, go ahead and roll me, we'll say an attack roll on the branch.
Sure. There we go. That would be a 23.
23, yeah, absolutely. So the first one you managed to kind of cut in. This is when you notice that you actually fully swing upside down, and you notice that both your legs also seem to be kind of like caught in these like sort of like vine things. Again, I'm going to tell you just above board, this is not the DM messing with you. It's just honoring in that one. So you notice that you have two other legs that are kind of like you're dangling upside down in the air, and both your legs are kind of caught on separate vines. So you're going to have to kind of hack at both of them. But you stop for a second because you definitely, even in your upside down sort of state from where you are, you see Clinton, who's probably still holding Io's face. That it looks like there is something behind Clinton. Excuse me, sorry, Alastaire. Jesus. There's something behind Alastaire that looks to be big and moving towards him. I'll give you an action here to either cut one rope, an attack here to either cut one rope down or to yell at him to turn around.
I was gonna throw an axe at whatever was coming up to him.
That works too. I love that.
Yeah, whatever cool. I have, all right. So,
there's, I'll say there's about a half cover for this creature right now.
It's fine. 23.
23 manages to hit. As you, Alastaire, you see Yori just kind of hanging upside down, swinging back and forth. And then you see, for a second, Yori just looks at you and throws an axe right at you. But you see it kind of sail, maybe like 5 feet over you. We'll play this a little bit. So first reaction as you hear that, like just initial sort of thing. We'll give a kind of a space and time for this moment, as it's just kind of funny.
As this axe is coming at me?
Yeah, this axe is like, fully coming at you, yeah.
Man, I think he's fine with it. I think he's okay. Like, I think he just kind of...
Just like close your eyes and accept it? Is that like that sort of thing?
Yeah, kind of like that. Like, I think he's just kind of like, cool, okay, I guess. Like, he's either going to do it now or later.
Okay, very cool. You hear, as you kind of close your eyes, you hear the as the axe kind of goes past you, and you hear it hit something that makes a sound. And I need everybody, and I mean everybody, to roll initiative.
What?
As you're doing so, this will be our 10-minute break, so I'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Oh, Yeah, generally you would get something like that.
Okay, well, that's different than what I'm getting.
Very different.
Oof. Yeah. To load But she was able to stream yesterday, no problem.
Haircuts.
How would you do that, though?
Let's log out and then just...
Hmm.
Mark, we're coming! I'll comment to him on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, incognito would have worked then because it's probably you're not logged in if you use incognito. So
You're muted, Joe.
Oh.
Nope. Can't hear you.
yeah, I mean that's definitely the issue though. If I go to incognito window and I try to log in, I get that same network call, the login guest, but I get a 200. Like it's fine.
Okay, so it's something...
Oh, that's fine.
We'll have to problem solve at a different time.
Okay, but it's definitely like the account's not logging in. So either she needs to start a different account and try that.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. We see you. Oh, we still can't hear you, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Kiki.
Hi, Kiki.
Hmm?
I was just telling Kiki hi.
Oh no, I know you. I heard you guys both say that, but I was like, wait, where is she?
No, we're just saying hi to her on the stream.
Okay, all right.
Now you're back.
There you are.
Sorry about that. Okay, I'm just trying to get things set up, but everything broke down all at once, so that's cool. That's not even reading that, huh? 1 second.
I just want to remind all of us that even the big names had very rocky starts with their streaming
That's a good question.
capabilities. So
Hey, not concerned.
we are fine, y'all.
Hey, Joe, what's the name of the studio?
Hold
It's a long...
on.
You got it. I'm not going to do it or say anything. I'm sorry.
Project name.
We will figure it out. Thanks for coming back to our riveting saga.
So, Jess, do you know where a polar bear keeps its money?
Okay, let's not do that. All right, guys. Jesus.
Wow, just like real quick shutdown.
You're still on stream. You're hearing. Everybody's hearing this. Everything you guys have been saying, people have been hearing.
I mean, content
Please
is
stop
content.
that. Okay. We will move forward without. So let's say, all right, let's switch things over. All right, we'll just do that. That's fine. Cool. All right. So initiative. Let's do our first group, which is obviously Siobhan, which I'll roll for Siobhan. So Siobhan and Gwyn.
I got a 21.
Okay.
Natural 20.
I'm definitely not going to remember this as things have gotten super weird. You rolled a nat 20, is that what you said?
I did. Yep.
Nice. One sec.
I'm not sure I like this music.
I do.
I mean, I love it.
I do.
but-
This one takes me back to the Halloween 1-shot, 2-shot.
I've had an idea. I think I know what's coming.
You should. It's your mind.
Yes. DM. I think I know what's coming.
I don't think we're going to like it very much.
Joe never kills his players.
No. I'm not wearing a shirt that says "Guess I'll Die" on it tonight for a reason at all.
Yep.
Just kidding. Gwen is a beast.
Okay. If I can get whatever. I had to literally run upstairs for a pen. All right. Jeez. Okay. So on Gwen's side, we got a nat 20 for 21, right?
And I got the same number as Gwen.
No. Let me
Okay.
one
Okay.
group at a time. I have in 2 different groups right now, right? So
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
10 is them. Okay. Gwen rolled really bad. It's okay. All right. On the other side, I assume you guys put it in the chat somewhere, but go ahead and just tell me who's first. Or maybe you didn't.
Io
Who
rolled
thinks
a
they rolled the
21.
highest? What you got? 21.
Io rolled a 21.
Okay. Okay. All right. Did you guys put it in the chat?
Yeah, but that was
I
like
did. Yeah.
a while ago.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me. Okay.
Here.
I
let me
mean,
try
we
it
could
again.
put stuff like that in the actual private chat in here, since that one seems right on the
Let's worry
side.
about right
I
now.
mean-
Mid-game chat. Is that where you guys put it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna re-put it there.
Yeah, everybody just re-put in theirs as I'm trying to kind of figure out why this other thing wasn't working. Everything just fell apart like all at the same time. It was really weird. All right, I guess that calls that. It's not even turning on. Okay. All right, that's okay. So one more theory of the mind, gang. Sorry about that. Okay, so for the other group, we have. Yep, Gwen, I don't need yours again, but that's okay. So Io, you got a 21. Alastair got a 19. Is that right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. For what you would call it? Okay. Roll for Nalani. Ooh, Nalani rolled really well. Okay. Nalani is also before Alastair. Dirty 20.
Nice.
Okay. And Yori with a 4.
Solid 4.
Solid 4. Love it.
Whew.
Okay. Yeah, we could play it this way. I mean, Gwyn rolled a nat 20, so I think Gwyn definitely goes first on this. So this would be a lot easier with a visual, but apologize, gang. It is not happening. Yeah, I can't even try one more thing without stopping the stream for it. And then what am I missing? Oh, Yori. Okay. So for Gwyn, as you see the light start to die out completely, as you see Siobhan's face goes from where she is to complete utter blackness, knowing that Siobhan does not have dark vision unless she puts her goggles on, which is going to take some time. You are the first to act. You hear the sound of, actually go ahead and roll a perception check at the beginning of your turn.
0.
Amazing. You hear the sound of like wings flapping and this like bubbling sort of sound as well. But you cannot even tell what direction they're in. I'll say your armor of Agathis is still up. Yeah. But you have no clue. I mean, you have dark vision, so right?
Yes.
Yeah, you do have dark vision. So I'll give you well, perception check was 0. You really have no idea. I think the difference between from light to no light, I'd say on this turn, you have no clue where anything is. Anything you're going to do is probably purely defensive unless you want to just well, your call.
Let's see. Let me just do this real quick. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Mark, just for the record, I purposely moved the break screen forward. Everything that happened on purpose as far as that goes. I needed more time setting up.
Do we still have all of our equipment and stuff that we would have had outside?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Oh shit, never mind. I gave that to Siobhan. I no longer have it. Okay, so that doesn't work. Is Siobhan still like right next to me? Can I sense her next to me and not like in front of me?
Yeah,
right?
you saw you saw her. You probably assume that she has not moved yet.
Then I'm just gonna do what I did before, and I'm going to send an Eldritch Blast towards the door that I'm assuming is still right in front of me.
Okay, very cool, awesome. I'm gonna say it is still right in front of you, but a 0 is a 0. That's really bad. I'm gonna say go ahead and roll with disadvantage.
Yeah, that's fine. She gets 2 beams, so we'll do it twice. Really good on the first one. 17 plus 8 is 25. I rolled a 17 and an 18.
Okay.
And the second one, not as good, but still plus 8. 9 plus 8 is 17.
Okay, cool. So with this door, because you hit it the first time as well, go ahead and roll damage for 3 for me, please.
Okay. It's going to be a lot. $30, 29, 32, 37.
37. Holy cow. Okay, cool. Well, interesting.
I feel like I'm gonna have a massive headache after this.
Okay.
I mean,
okay, cool. So 37 points of damage on the door. Cool. You do feel like you hit both times. You can hear the sound of the like heavy wood sort of just crunching underneath that. You hear Siobhan yell out, "Stay behind me!" But does that end your turn?
bonus action. She's just gonna mutter under her breath, "Alastaire, you absolute asshole."
Okay.
That's her bonus
Very cool.
action.
Awesome. So you at the end of your turn, you hear that sort of like that bubbling sort of sound get louder as it seems like it's coming towards you. But and it is not Siobhan's turn yet. Siobhan goes after them.
Them.
Well, here, let's see what we do. Well, we'll do that one first. So we'll do. Okay. You feel. You feel a. Actually, I got to roll for it. I'm sorry. I forgot how D&D works. A 14 to hit.
I don't think it does. Oh, no, 14 is her armor class.
Yep. So 14 just hits as you feel this all of a sudden this like stabbing pain in your side as you hear you hear the sound of wings kind of getting closer to you, all right. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Saves over here. Constitution is pretty good. Nope, it's not. Just lying. 13.
13 actually makes that save, so that's good.
Okay.
So you take 7 points of piercing damage.
Piercing. Okay.
And you take
it takes damage too.
Cool. 1 second. 7 points of poison damage.
All right. So that's actually halved to 3.
Okay.
Because I'm resistant to poison.
Nice.
And
Cool.
it takes, I think it's 15 cold, but let me just double check. Because I still have Armor of Agathis up for a little bit longer. 15 cold.
Okay. Cool. This thing is really hurting. As you see, this thing is like kind of right up on you. You have dark vision, so you feel the stab, and you kind of turn in that direction, and you see this figure with like a face that is so angular that everything seems to kind of point like towards its mouth. You see these like beady little white eyes, this very furrowed sort of brow, and horns that seem to extend out from that side. You see this creature itself is a little bit bigger than you would normally see from a creature that you might recognize. Actually, go ahead and roll me a history check. Low DC.
Oh, that's pretty good. 13 plus something. Plus 13 plus 5, 18.
18. This thing looks like some sort of devil, but in the space of like the thinner sort of body and frame, it almost looks like an imp, except that instead of it being tiny, it's small. You can see the kind of like reddish. Well, actually, you can't see the color in that. You can guess based on what you assume it is. The like kind of like reddish skin and this like kind of curved sort of bumpy sort of tail with the like scorpion like part at the end of scorpion like pincer, not pincer, stinging like stinger on the end of it. You see it has its mouth wide open in pain as it did a considerable amount of damage to it just from that. You see it kind of fly up about 10 feet above you, like grabs onto the cave wall and just screeches at you. As this is happening, that bubbling sort of sound as you're kind of like coming to and catching, where you are, you just see it looks like it's just a mound of like. Actually, I'm gonna say go ahead and roll a perception check. This creature's crazy.
Oh, 15 again. This one likes 15. Okay.
Hang on to that one.
Yep. For perception checks, it's going to be the perception check dice.
There you go.
You got it. You said 15?
Yeah.
So this creature looks like it is some sort of amalgamation of it. I'm trying not to say something that just sounds gross for the sake of being gross, because it's not. It looks like what a body would. It looks like what the innards of a body would look like. So you see like skin, like torn off in like little pieces, but most of it you see these like weird sort of like bumping sort of like arteries that look like a heart, could be lungs, you're not sure, and these bones that are kind of sticking out in random directions. It's moving towards you like similar to like a slime, but definitely in the grosser sort of stages of that, and you can smell that like especially now that horrible sort of disgusting smell of death and that like irony sort of smell of blood and bone, all that good stuff. You see it kind of coming towards you, and you see like one of the bones itself that looks like almost like it's like big enough to be like a femur bone, just comes out and kind of comes towards you. Give me 1 second. I gotta pull this guy up.
Sorry, guys. I have a very twisted mind, apparently.
Yeah. Gwen once again is saying, "What the fuck, Alastair?"
All in alone time, reading books.
Yeah, actually, it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
The bad Renaissance painting pictures.
So you see the bone come up towards you and goes to smack into you, but also it's like a very large swing, so it's also almost hitting. Well, it almost looks like it's almost aiming at Siobhan as well, as it just kind of it does this like kind of like whirlwind over. And I need a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's again not bad. What is my save though? Dex 13 again.
Okay, 13 makes the save. Very nice. What did you roll on seeing the imp?
I rolled a 17, so -2 is a 15.
A 15. Okay. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Cool. And Siobhan makes her saving throw as well. You still get hit. You're just taking half damage. Okay. You take 14 points of necrotic damage. Have to 7.
Okay, and it takes 15 cold, but now Armor of Agathis just sort of has melted away.
Okay.
You said 14 have to 7. Okay. And then it also needs to make a dex save as just this flash of fire erupts from her. As I will go ahead and use Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. Very cool. What did it take originally? 15 again?
15.
You got it. Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of save?
It's Dex 16.
Dex 16. Okay, cool. Rolled exactly a 16, but has
Okay.
-2 on that, so that actually hits.
Okay. So he's going to take 21 points of fire damage.
21. Oh, Jesus. Wow, Gwyn. Okay.
Yeah. She's not fucking around, I guess.
You are not at all. Cool. This thing looks. They both look hurt, honestly. That's a significant amount of damage for that. I will say with this, I'm going to say give me just one more perception check as Siobhan is taking her turn.
One more. Oh, that's not as good. That's bad. That's really bad. That's a 1.
That's a 1. Okay.
So no, it's a natural 1. So it's a -1.
Oh, geez. Okay, cool. That's okay. I won't mechanically fault you. I'll just tell you, you're dealing with a lot. I think the amount of like things that are coming off you is also kind of blocking your sight as well.
Yeah, and she's just got this low simmering rage still. So
yeah, I guess so. Like a legitimate, real blind rage.
Yep, entirely.
-1 on the check.
Yep. I did this to myself, you guys.
Right after a nat 1 not too long before. So
yeah.
That's crazy. Siobhan goes Siobhan goes to actually just Siobhan puts on her goggles for one.
That makes sense.
Cool. And is going to take out her blade of the Thorn Weaver and is going to stab into this like blob, hoping to kind of connect. And absolutely does. She is going to roll, and because you are both right next, she gets sneak attack. Okay. 1d6 plus 1d6. Hold on, I gotta roll rogues. Thing. We'll do so there's a Constitution saving throw that it fails. So this creature is now poisoned. As you see the event, I mean, I'll let her explain. This will be the first time her weapon actually worked. You see something happen that Kiki will explain later.
Gwen doesn't notice, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. That's a good point. Yeah. So 6. Wow, rolled 2 6s on that 2d6.
Nice.
12, and then I didn't roll sneak attack yet. So.
Oh baby.
Okay, that was not as good. 4 or 5. That's 5. 20. Yeah, cool. You see this thing seem to kind of like sink into the ground and like sort of become like kind of spread out in a space that you feel pretty sure whatever life existed in it is no more. The imp is still kind of attached itself to the ceiling though. All right, cool. And with that, we're going to switch over to our other friends. For that, let's insinuate that with a little bit of different music. Okay, Io, you were able to react first as you did not see. You guys get anything? There you go. You did not see the thing that was behind the trees, as it kind of like had this sort of like this lightish sort of green that reflected off of its branches. But you see as it kind of comes forward, you see a mat of like long black hair. The most important sort of thing that you notice from it is that as it comes towards you, you're trying to kind of get an idea of its expression, of whether it's. I think Io's always trying to check, like, there's a possibility it's a friend, who knows? But as you're looking at its face, you realize it does not have one. As you see it as this concave sort of opening where you can see there's these purple pustules that are kind of like bubbling up and down. This creature kind of like straightens itself out, and you can see that it is indeed probably closer to like 20 feet tall as it moves through the trees with its long extended legs and arms. You would imagine it being humanoid, except for its legs and arms are twice, maybe 3 times the size of its body. You see like it looks very malnourished. You see like the skeletal sort of form underneath, but the missing face in the middle is the scariest part to that. I think you okay. I think you I will allow you to ask Alastaire what this thing is, or you can roll your own history check. Your call. But Alastaire will be rolling with advantage.
I think in this situation, character decisions matter more. Man, what the hell is this thing? He's asking Alastaire.
Okay, Alastaire, go ahead and roll advantage.
26.
What is Alastaire's greatest strength? I mean, mechanically. I mean, like legitimately in a fight. Not counting a friend.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would be spell. It would be, as of right now, either phantasmal force.
Magic, right? Just magic in general. So, what would be your greatest fear?
Physical, something physical.
Okay. walking through these trees, you see something that's even more scarier than that, something that would keep you from being able to use your magic.
Not having it, yeah.
It is, you see this huge form walking towards you. And for those of you who are watching at home or watch the other stream, this just makes the most sense in this form, even though we saw the exact same character on Tuesday. This is a Woe Strider. What you know with the 26, what you know about Woe Striders is they have a form of being able to keep any sort of magic at bay, like kind of like an anti-magic field. But the interesting factor for it is that its expanse is much larger in a 26 is killer in a cone shape that is dependent upon what it's facing. And right now, we'll say, just for the sake of changing over, it is facing you and Io. So what do you say to Io in that time? I'll say we can kind of play this as that.
Io, split up, and I will start running basically lateral to him in one direction.
Cool. So you're trying to make that movement there on there. But Io, it is technically your turn, so.
I think listening to that, I make a beeline for the trees behind me. Okay. Trying to make sure beeline back and towards the opposite direction.
Let's make this easy. Left or right from if Alastaire looks like he's going right, are you going left?
Yes, exactly.
You got it. Yep.
Exactly.
Awesome. How far do you move?
I'd probably say 20 feet, and then I'm dropping prone or somewhere where I'm making sure I at least have half cover.
Okay. I'd say 20 feet. You see there is like kind of like a busted up tree trunk you can kind of have kind of like hide behind for a second. Yeah. So cool. So that is your movement, unless you were trying to action hide.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hide just yet. Okay. Actually, yeah. Action hide. And I think I'm gonna hold a reaction to make a actually, no, I don't think I can do that. So let's say I wanted to see if I could hold action to fire with my crossbow if the thing turns towards me.
With your crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not facing you right now.
Oh, okay. But isn't its cone like facing its anti-magic cone facing?
I will say
you ran one way. Alastaire's trying to run the other. Gotcha. That's the whole point of you guys running, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. I follow you now. Okay. So knowing that,
yeah, I would say as you're running, it doesn't look like its gaze is following you.
Okay. At that point, I am going to pop an Armor of Agathis at 2nd level.
Okay.
Again. And then bonus action, manifest a tentacle right behind it.
You got it.
And from there. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to make that melee tentacle attack. And I think here. One second. I always forget what my bonus to hit for this thing is. Make a melee attack with spell attack against one. So it would take my modifier. Okay. Melee spell attack with the tentacle. Does a 23 hit?
23 hits.
Awesome. Then it will be taking 4 cold damage, and it's attempting that grapple.
Okay. Doesn't matter if the creature is large or not.
I don't. Let me look here, but it does not look like it indicated if it was large or
Yeah,
not.
if it doesn't say it, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking again.
All right. So is it a grapple
Strength.
check?
Yeah, strength or dex, 16 DC.
Okay. 23.
Dang. It was worth a shot.
Cool. You see the tentacle kind of go and like wrap around the like thin leg as you see it kind of is able to pull through from that. As it's just like it, like I said, the malnourished sort of leg on it like comes out. It almost like looks like more like a stilt than a leg. Okay. Does that end your turn?
That does end my turn. Yes.
You got it. Nalani goes up next. I rolled for Nalani. Nalani hit twice with the longbow. We'll just do straight up damage just to make it easy. Unless there's anything you guys want me to do with Nalani. Okay, that is 11 and 6, and then, or sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. 7, 13 and 8. So 21. 21 points of damage. And he's got more spells than this. Oh no, he doesn't. He's an arcane archer. I'm dummy. I keep thinking he's a ranger. So 23 points of damage on this dude. And then bonus action. I'm gonna say just with his movement and bonus action, he's working as hard as he can to kind of get to a level where he can feel like he'll have a better sense of where this Woe Strider is. A better sense of where to be able to hit this Woe Strider on top of the head. So you see him; he's kind of like up on the tree. That ends in Lonnie's turn. Alastaire, it is your turn.
Mechanically, is it just me? Or
yes, it is just you. Yes, I got what you're saying. Yeah.
Great. And then pedantic question about the cone. I'm assuming he's looking at me right now. The Woe Strider.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Does it prevent any casting from within or magic within or both? The question, I guess, is I have catapult that I can put at any point. So if I could cast it and it appeared behind him or like behind his head, so it's not in the cone, does that work?
You are unable to cast spells when it is gazing at you, essentially.
Got it. That answers that question. Yeah, I think I stop and do jumping jacks and draw its attention.
Okay.
And then shout at Nalani to keep hitting it and for Io to go after it. And I think I keep its attention and basically I kite it. I'm going to let it follow me.
Okay.
But and
you're running away.
Yep. So opposite of where Io was at. So pull it another 30 feet if it'll follow me.
You got it. Yep, 30 feet. Okay, cool. It is its turn. The Woe Strider starts to kind of make its way over to you. It's actually moving. It's actually moving a lot faster than it looks like it should be. It's a very like spider scuttling sort of thing as it's kind of like moving towards you. You see the hair kind of moving back, kind of like mine actually. It's weird. The hair's kind of like moving back and forth as you start to hear that that sort of scream emanating from it. Goes to try and grab you. Well, let's say first tries to hit you with its first attack with its claw to try to grab you. That is a natural 9. Not gonna say, yeah, natural 19 to hit for 26.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll these attacks for now. So 26. Second attack is with other claw to kind of like keep you held down. That is a 22 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. And then so you're taking damage from both of these as you're being kind of crushed in its grip. Jeez. And the last hit is a 17 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. What's your total HP?
34.
Okay. First attack, you feel you take 7 points of slashing damage plus 3 points of psychic damage. And in that first hit, you feel your whole body kind of gets rocked as this thing kind of grabs you, but the force of the grabbing is really what you're feeling from that. You feel your whole body just get rocked, and you feel you're like kind of like you fall out of place for a second as you're like, it's almost like your whole body just gets jumbled so much that your brain kind of gets jumbled around.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to roll me a luck check.
14.
14. With a 14, you see your head is just like as the air is kind of rushing around you as you're being moved. You start to see a different image kind of move across as you actually see you see Gwyn in a like armor of ice as you see it kind of like break as this something attacks it, and you see the like hellish rebuke happen. So you see that happen as you take your first hit. Second hit, it's going to be the same thing. 7 points of damage plus 2 points of psychic damage. And you're still up, correct?
I am still up.
Okay, great. So on that second hit, just for the sake of time, you see the same thing. You see Siobhan kind of stabbing at it, and you see behind them is a door. You see the door itself has kind of been like black, and you see the like charcoal of like around the handle. And I'll say, just for the sake of like moving forward, you see Gwyn like probably like, well, I don't know what Gwyn's doing actually at this point, so we'll see. But you do notice that it looks like it's been hit, and then that last attack is the big one. As you all see, as you all hear and see Alastaire crying out in pain as the creature just closes its maw around Alastaire. You didn't see any teeth on it, but you definitely hear a lot of pain coming from Alastaire. Okay, you're going to say something?
So in this moment, I can't cast still, right? Because I'm in its gaze.
Because you're in its gaze, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Good question. Okay. And then, so that's this is all one hit. 13 points of piercing damage, and you also take 12 points of psychic damage.
Alastaire goes limp. Nope.
Okay.
Alastaire goes limp.
Okay. You see Alastaire kind of just like completely go limp, and whether or not, actually, I'm going to say in this moment, as Alastaire kind of just falls unconscious, you see his cane drop, even though he wasn't like using it. You just see that kind of drop as a sign of like losing control of that. Yeah, Alastair's unconscious. Yori, you're up.
Butts. All right, so I'm still stuck in a tree. How far am I away from the
Woe Strider?
Woe Strider. How far am I away
I'd
from
say
Woe
you're stuck in a tree. I'd say you're about 30 feet up.
Okay. Oh, all right. So I am going to use. I'm assuming this gaze isn't on me.
Correct.
So I'm going to use Giant's Might to try and break free from the tree, essentially.
Yeah, I'll say in that moment, I mean, your limbs are getting bigger, right? Those things. I'm gonna say it's a low DC, but give me an athletics check.
Okay. It's going to be a 26.
Yeah, you're good. You manage to be able to kind of break through both of them as you start to sail. And I'll say, just for the sake of coolness on this, you're right on top of this thing.
Great. So that was. You know what? Let's just go all out, and I'm going to cast Enlarge on myself to turn huge, and then I'm going to grapple it.
Okay.
From behind.
You got it. Cool. So as you are huge trying to grapple this thing, I assume you have advantage on that. It's going to be strength against strength. Okay, cool. What did you get?
Isn't it athletics? Against whatever.
Yeah, athletics. Yeah.
Yeah, against whichever one. Okay, so let's see what I get. I got a 24.
24. All right. With a 24, you successfully kind of like the huge version of Yori comes in and just grabs this thing from the back. You absolutely successfully have this thing grappled, which is a good move on your part.
And then I'm going to action surge.
Okay. Nice.
And I'm going to grapple it again in an attempt to pin it with the grappler feet.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have not gotten to use yet.
Love it. Cool. Same strength save, right?
Yeah.
Check?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put that in.
Nice.
So, yeah. All right. So here we go. That would be a 25.
25 beats its 24. Yeah, you managed to kind of knock it straight to the ground. As you see Alastaire limp in his hand, kind of just outstretched. You see, even in this moment, the Woe Strider has its face sort of turned to the unconscious Alastaire in his hand.
Well, I was kind of hoping that. So for the second grapple, you get to restrain it. Like it's a full restrain. So I was hoping to kind of grab it in such a way that I could actually kind of force its gaze. Like I'm going to fall backwards with it, have it restrained, and try to force its gaze just straight upward, like kind of with my, with the grapple.
Okay. I would say, I'll be honest with you, like, because that's super cool. But I'd say if it was a further distance from that second grapple, I would allow that. But I would say still in this case, because it would.
Oh,
be
I see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it would be actively fighting your. It'd be actively fighting to keep its gaze away from Alastaire.
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
Does that end your turn?
Yes, that will end my turn.
Awesome. Okay. Gwyn, it is your turn, but in this moment, we get to add a friend, which is going to look crazy on here. Say hi to Kiki.
Oh, boy. Yay.
We figured it out.
Welcome.
I don't know how it worked. We tried so many things.
Oh,
We are so happy to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you can
leave it.
All right. I need to send you below everything. Okay, Gwyn, it is your turn. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
All right, so the little imp guy is still ahead.
Yeah, actually, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
10.
10. sorry, we lost me. Did not like that. We lost me for a second. And Siobhan went nuts. Cool. Right, that's all right. All good. With a 10, you hear, even though the creature is dead, you hear that gurgling sort of sound from somewhere else.
Cool. So Gwen being Gwen, this is Alastaire's mind. This is not a real door. This is... She is just going to turn to the door, and she is going to say, "You will open. I am saving my friend. Let me through." And as she says that, she's going to just Eldritch Blast it twice.
Okay, very cool. I love that.
The first one is 27.
27 hits for sure.
And the second one was 24.
Go ahead and say that second one again.
24 to hit.
24.
And it would be 20. So, I mean, they both hit.
Yes, they both hit.
20 points of force damage.
Okay, cool. Yes, 20 points of force damage. You manage to blast this door, and you can hear the like king, 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 king as whatever lock mechanism was on it is now open.
All right. I'm going through the door.
You got it. Okay.
With a look to Siobhan saying, "Let's go."
Righty. This is crazy. This thing is really not liking Siobhan. There we go. Okay, cool. For some reason, I'm not able to pull you below the overlay. Maybe I can now. There we go. Jeez. Cool. Awesome. So you're sorry. Say that again. You're grabbing Siobhan.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at her and saying, "Let's go," and I'm going through the door.
You got it. Okay, cool. Siobhan, you turn and look at Gwyn as this is being said, and you hear the like as the imp not even really having to like lift itself too far off the ground or lift itself too far off that ceiling. I would say it's still 5 feet, but just above you. Sends the scorpion tail towards you. That is a but that might not hit. That is a that's a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
That's a solid 4.
Okay.
Oh.
Welcome back.
Welcome
You take 4 points of piercing damage, and then you take 12 points of poison damage. Unless you got something against that, I feel like you might.
Not reaction-wise.
Okay.
Not at this level. I don't have anything against that.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Am I poisoned? Do I take the poison condition?
No, you do not take the poison condition. Okay, cool. We'll say with that, I'm seeing the door flying open actually, well, I want to give one last chance at this, but we'll give it to Siobhan as Siobhan is here. Siobhan, can you give me a perception check as you look at Gwyn, feel that stab in your side, look up at this thing.
It's a 7.
7. Okay, cool. Looking up at this thing, you see the leathery wings. You see everything about it that looks like is some sort of devil. All right, very cool. So moving through well, I'll say Siobhan is now your turn. Actually, sorry, Siobhan, what are you doing?
Is the door like blasted off its hinges, or can it be shut behind us?
I can be shut behind you. I said the lock kind of blasted off, and you see Gwyn is opening the door.
She
You
would.
also hear, for the record, you also hear like kind of this like bubbling sound, which actually sounds bigger than the previous one.
Okay. She'd push Gwyn. The imp's like not attached to me, right?
No. Just
Okay.
kind of like it was very quick, very like a scorpion.
She would shove Gwyn through the door and pull it closed behind them, and then just brace the door to make sure nothing follows them.
You got it. So say in this moment, just to kind of to end this scene, you both go through the door and slam it behind you. But from that direction, from where we are, what you guys do not see, for the record, is as the imp goes to kind of attack again to the door, from the like kind of like just like sort of out of the frame where we only see like the bottom half of the imp, you see there's a cast on the left leg. As it kind of zooms out, you see there is zooms out from the like pile of bones and organs from the previous thing. You see that there is a well, Alastaire, you tell me what's in the pile of bones and organs in there. Something small.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a small little gold and silver, we'll say like medallion, like that would go like on a necklace, with a really, so it has a bunch of scroll work and like a very fancy like letter A on it.
Okay.
That his mother had before he was born. And I think that's why he has the A name is that.
Cool. And we'll say from the like residual blast of that last Eldritch Blast, you saw the door itself was like kind of like caught a little bit on fire as that fire quickly dies out as you see the gleaming of that metal medallion on the side. Cool. And that ends our side with Gwyn and Siobhan. On the other side, top of the order, it is Io.
What do we see on the other side of the door now that I pushed her through the...
Nothing.
Just darkness?
I mean, it's 12:09.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So coming to the other side for Io, Nalani, and Alastaire, you will see, for the record, you will see something. You'll just see it in succession. That's the thing there. All right, Io, Nalani. Sorry, excuse me, Io, you're up.
Yeah. Does Io have enough movement to get, since Yori has the thing, basically Yori's on the back of the thing and the thing's like pointed up, does Io have enough movement to get like right up on it, but in an area where it's not looking at him?
You're trying to get on it within an area where it is not looking at you, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say this is a large creature. If you wanted to kind of like run around to the other side of it, you certainly could.
Okay. All right. He's going to do that. Then what he's going to do is he's going to quicken spell and cast Tasha's Mind Whip. So it needs to make an intelligence saving throw of 16. Whoops, I did not mean to roll that, by the way.
One more time.
So, okay.
What roll am I making?
Intelligence saving throw 16 is the DC.
Yeah, fails.
Awesome. So that means our boy is going to be taking 7. That's 10 damage, 10 psychic damage. And moreover, on its next turn, it must choose whether or not it gets to move an action or a bonus action, and it only gets one of the 3. On a successful save, it just takes half as much damage. Well, we already know what it's doing. Yeah. After we did that, we're going to use our bonus action to Eldritch Blast it. But I'm positioning the Eldritch Blast in such a way where the repelling blast is not going to be moving it and Yori.
You can choose not to move people too. With
you don't have to. Yeah, you can.
Gotcha.
Also, you get advantage. You have advantage.
Awesome. Thank you for reminding me because I would have forgotten. All right, so first blast. Does 23 hits. I already know 23 hits.
Yeah, 23 hits. For the record, I think it's a straight roll because technically Eldritch Blast is a ranged spell attack. And this creature's on the ground.
Gotcha. So do you want me to roll again then?
No. I'll take it 23.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Then, so that first blast is going to do 8 damage.
Okay.
And then the second blast is probably not going to hit. Does a 9 hit?
9 does not hit, no.
Yeah, knew it wouldn't. So that I think. Do I have any movement left?
I'd say maybe you have 10 feet of movement. Because it would take a while to kind of get around this thing from where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get to this thing and then get around it.
I think I'd position myself where I have a better bit of distance and where I can probably at least duck around a shrub or something.
I'll say within 10 feet, there's nothing.
Okay.
That would be very lucky, and I'm just going to put it there.
I'll just back up then.
Okay, cool. To be fair, it does look like it's preoccupied.
Good.
Okay, cool. I'm going to actually, so just for a second, I'm going to actually backpedal a little bit because technically there is something that could be really cool that happens here. So we're going to come back to Siobhan for a second. So going through the door, first off, same thing. You kind of have your goggles on, but even in this space, you don't really notice anything but like dirt, mud, grime, everything that represents this this plane of existence all around you, and it looks like there is but I will say right in front of you, Siobhan, there does look like there is a ladder. And obviously Gwyn too, but we're gonna say it is still technically Siobhan's turn as there was no action taken here.
I guess she'd use her action to direct Gwyn physically to the ladder and start pushing her up it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so cool. We'll say it's like a kind of a grapple check sort of thing of pushing her up it as you both go.
Technically, I probably still had some movement left.
Okay.
Like.
Yeah. I would like to
matters.
give you that action. I will say for the sake of. Now, it's up to you, Siobhan. I think if you truly want Gwyn to go ahead of you, you know that you're going to have to be kind of moving slower. But I get the reasoning as well. So, to be fair, another sort of factor here is that looking straight up, you see that there is looks like there is there's a slight light. You see like there's kind of like you see that there's a hole where there's like a flame that's kind of like flickering somewhere. You can see there's kind of like just like a dancing light up above, sort of thing. So,
Gwyn absolutely wouldn't resist anything Siobhan wanted to do. So
yeah. So I will say the reason why I'm mentioning this is because you're not, Siobhan, you're not entirely sure if the danger is ahead or behind.
I mean, I think she knows the danger is behind because we just left that room, right?
Right, but if you're climbing the ladder going up, you're not sure what's up there either. Is the point I'm making. So yeah.
I mean, I think she would still try to put herself between Gwyn and the perceived danger.
Okay, which in your case is the door.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, awesome.
And I think she thinks she is dexterous enough to be able to manipulate herself around Gwyn on a ladder if she needs to.
Okay, cool. Gwyn, you didn't really make a lot of movement, so we'll just say for the sake of ease here, what is your full movement?
30.
30. Okay. Yeah, this ladder's 50 feet, so so you're about over halfway there. All right, cool. We will switch back. So it is Nalani's turn. I'll say this for the people. Well, Alastaire, you're not going to have much of a turn. So, Alastaire, what would you want Nalani to do? I'll roll for it. But
also, just 1 second. Does a restrained creature isn't automatically prone, right? So just because I restrained him doesn't mean he's prone.
But pinning is. You said you pinned him.
Mm-hmm.
So in my view, you restrained, which would mean advantage on attacks. Pinned means that it's prone, which means disadvantage on ranged spell attacks. So that's why it was a straight roll.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess Pin doesn't actually say anything about making a creature prone. I get the wording says like, yeah, but you could pin somebody still like kind of in a kneeling position or whatever. Like, you know,
you did say you were kind of behind it, right?
Yeah, it's just, you know, mechanically, if the grappling both, gives everybody disadvantage and advantage every time you use it for that ability after doing 2 strength checks, it kind of like cancels itself out to a certain extent. So yeah, at least in the description, Pin doesn't say prone. So
right,
yeah, like you could kind of do full Nelson kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say in this moment of like the pinning of this, and this is where we kind of go into the realism of this movement too. If you were pinning someone down to the ground and someone's doing a ranged spell attack, no matter where they are, the mechanics of that specifically say you have disadvantage on that. So in this case, I would say, and for future sort of reference stuff, you probably want to try to pin them against them, because obviously if he did a
right, I describe
attack,
it differently, like because I kind of described it as falling back, and I'm like that. So next time, that seems fair.
Yeah, if it was like if it was a melee attack, you'd have advantage. You'd have technically like super advantage, but that's not.
Yeah, so many advantages.
Which really should be a thing. I don't know what. Anyways,
cool.
I'll go ahead and roll that one more die in that second attack.
Okay. This better be worth it, die.
I'll do Nalani's.
You bastard. That's not a hit, guys.
All good.
The
Hey,
gods have spoken.
It's all good. What can Nalani do here?
I mean, if you're asking me, and both me as the player and knowing Mitch the player and Nalani, I think he just keeps shooting. I think disadvantage, advantage. This guy's hit everything he shot at pretty much so far. So
right. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Well, it'd just be flat anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say the other option too is that he could be like actively trying to get you out of its grasp.
But when he do
I don't think Nalani has played. I don't think Mitch has played Nalani as that
No,
guy.
I think Nalani would attack.
Got it. Absolutely. Yeah.
When in doubt.
So both attacks with advantage. Come on, nat 20. Well, one of them was a nat 1, so that's good.
And he would be shooting with sharpshooter on all of these.
Yeah, he would. That's true. So I think we determined that was going to be 10 instead of 11. Yeah. So that's. Sorry. Oh, that just hits. Okay, cool. So first attack hits. Second attack, so close. Natural 19. Second attack hits. And then he'll action surge for 2. Well, yeah, because you guys are with me. I'll give it back to him. Rolled another nat 1 on one of them, and a natural 15 on the other. And then 2 more hits there. And another natural 19. So all of those hit. So that's 4 attacks, right? Math?
Yep.
Okay. So that's 5 again, so 10 plus 6 every time, so 6 times 4 is 24, right, guys?
Yep.
6 times 4 is 24. Okay, good. 34 points of damage on the Woe Strider.
Right.
Nalani is such a cannon.
Really
and I'm not going to use any of his features because those do take those are resources. So he might not have actually, honestly. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe.
Cool. All right. So 34% as things still kicking. It is Alastaire's turn. Alastaire, go ahead and roll me a death saving throw.
That is a 9.
Okay, that's 1 fail. It is the Woe Strider's turn, although the creature is being restrained. And I'll say for the sake of let me just make sure I'm not being absolutely sure. Attacking next to disadvantage, hostile advantage. You said you're kind of full Nelsoning him, right?
Yeah, that's the kind of idea, because I want to be away from his vision, and also the attempt was to try to direct that vision as well, but yeah, definitely kind of from behind.
Okay. Alastaire, roll me roll me another d20, please.
That is a 1.
Okay. All right. What's your armor class?
12.
First attack is a miss. Okay. Second attack is a miss. Third attack is a miss. Not getting it. This thing has +7 and did not roll above, I think, a 5 or a 6, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool. That could have been very different. So we'll say you're just fucking killing it right now. Just like keeping this thing from being able to kind of each time you're kind of moving your arms in the opposite way in that little kid strength that is now just a freaking giant. Well, technically huge, right? No, yeah, huge. As you're holding this thing back, actively being able to fight against every movement is trying to do, and is screaming, trying to. For sure, with that nat 1, looks like it's trying to end Alastaire. Yori, it is your turn.
All right. At the start of my turn, I do 1d4 because I'm grappling it.
Cool. Love that.
So that's just straight 3.
Okay.
And then, I think rather than thematically, the maul does more damage, but thematically it just doesn't make sense. So instead,
okay,
Yori's going to do, even if he had his maul, because usually it's on Fenrir anyway, he's going to do an unarmed attack. He's going to be like holding him this way and just punch him right in the side. Okay. And since it's advantage, disadvantage, it's just a straight roll, since I am also restrained technically.
Right.
So, all right, let's give it a shot.
Wait, why are you also restrained?
That's part of the pin. I restrain it, and I am also restrained. That's part of the grappler's like feet thing. If I pin it, that we're both restrained. We're both kind of holding each other in position. But that's a 26 to hit.
26 hits.
So yeah. So then let's see. That's 7 damage plus another 6 from Giant's Might. So that's 9 plus another 4 from Enlarge. So that's just 11 damage. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hope we didn't lose Joe.
Okay, wait a sec. A part of me wanted it to hit because I wanted to Cloud Rune. It would have been epic.
No.
Who would you have had it hit though?
I could have it hit him. I can have it hit the creature that attacked.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh no, I can't.
No, you can't.
Dang. Has to be other than the attacker. So just hit me.
Yeah, that's what I've done that before.
I'll just charge my armor.
Yeah.
I was gonna do Fire Rune, but technically it's on the actual maul, so I don't think I can really do it with unarmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No worries.
it's hard with rune fighters.
Yeah.
To know where the rune actually is.
I've declared it like on the maul, so it's got to be like a maul attack for that one to work. The Cloud Rune's a lot easier because it's just like, oh, you have a thing and you just kind of like, it's on like a stone or whatever.
Yeah, so thankfully you guys kept going, so sorry about that.
We're just dying.
It's dead, and we solved all of Alistair's problems, and so
Fixed his brain.
We had a big
World peace.
talk, and he's doing a lot better.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. So your, I think I got cut off on your second attack hit.
It was the first attack. Did 11 damage, and now I'm going to do the second attack, just another unarmed hit, which is only 13, so it doesn't hit.
13 does not hit. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. That's my turn. So it's 4 at the beginning and 11, so 15 damage total.
Okay. This thing is on the ropes. So Gwyn and Siobhan, we're coming back to you guys. We go back to the top.
Oh wait, sorry.
Yep. Go ahead.
I forgot to use my bonus action.
Go for
Yes.
Healing word on Alastaire.
it. Nice. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Such an important one. I really,
You had that.
really
Oh
meant
my
to do
God.
that.
Oh.
All right.
I'm gonna
six.
say I'm gonna say there has. Well, it's facing. Yeah, it's also facing Alastair. I'm gonna allow you to roll for it because it's not
Okay.
dead.
So it's both like if it's facing you can't cast, and wherever it's facing, magic just can't exist in that area as well.
Yeah.
Right. It is legitimately like anti-magic field.
Right. Cool. All right. So what do you want me to roll?
I'll say you being aware of that. I'll say go ahead and roll me an Arcana check against me, against the DM and himself. I just
all right.
chose the DM.
Inspiration for just being Yori.
Seriously, killing it.
All right. All right. That's a 12, as I have a -1 in Arcana. Not great at it, but it is a 12.
No luck. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Dice guys are not being nice to you.
Alistair's brain isn't being nice to us.
No.
I just said it was, more of like a athletics check to move the head to the side, or anyway, that's my turn.
Cool. At this point, you hear it kind of like let out another shriek. As it is, like I said, it is on the ropes. Gwyn and Siobhan, you guys are out of initiative on this, so we'll say moving 30 feet, going through that. You guys come up to the top, and I would like, Siobhan, are you maneuvering yourself, or do you think you're kind of staying where you are, just behind?
She would be putting, as soon as she can, Gwyn behind her and kind of being that shield around Gwyn.
Okay. So, but you're both on a ladder, so tell me what position you're wanting to be. Are you wanting to be first on the
Did
top
we
of the ladder?
hear anything?
Nothing yet. You're on the ladder. This is coming
confused.
just from the moving 30
Oh,
feet.
coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would try to maneuver. If nothing's been chasing them up the ladder, she'd try to dozy on up past Gwyn.
Okay, cool.
To
Yeah,
be
I
the
want to
first
make
one
you
out.
roll. I'm gonna make you roll for that. That's not a big deal, especially for Siobhan. Okay. Gwyn, as you are Siobhan, as you're peering up the top, at the top of it, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That's a 19.
19. Okay. As you're peering up at the top of this sort of hole, you see there is a fire that's kind of going in the fireplace, and actually this is not the right music for this, so what do I want to do here? I guess we'll do this one. Oh no, we'll do this one. Sorry, forgot. So coming to the top of the stairs, you can hear the kind of crackling of the fire in the fireplace, and you see it kind of moving as it goes along. It looks like you're in some sort of cabin. It's the first thing you see. You see there's like a window that is there's like half shutter just kind of peeking out. And you notice that in the cabin itself, the furniture, not the furniture, excuse me. Sorry, I'm going to pull it back a little bit because I don't think it's a cabin per se. I think it's actually like we'll say a stone-made cabin. So you can see, someone tell me what that is. I forget. But a stone house that looks like a cabin. You get it, right? Immersion achieved.
We get it.
good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes, you're good.
Looking at you, notice like so in the separate sort of cinder blocks that are made up, and it looks to be like kind of just like natural stone. Every like few feet, you see this like kind of like purplish sort of looking gem that's kind of almost encrusted in the walls there. You see there is a bed. There looks to be a cane that is resting on the bed. And then the last sort of space that you look in the last corner, you see a small table. And you see Alastaire sitting in a chair, one leg over the other, just reading a book.
Alastaire? As she climbs out.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. She's just gonna motion to Gwyn to hold for a moment.
I don't think Gwyn listens. She comes out, but she will still stay. You know, she'll let Siobhan still be the shield, but she comes out.
Nice work, you made it. We're gonna have to wait a few minutes.
4.
This is when you hear that scream from the creature.
Yeah.
She's gonna turn to start to run towards the door.
Okay.
Yeah, Gwyn.
She's not stopping you.
Yeah, Gwyn would just say, "No, we're not waiting." And she's a little bit slower. She's not running, but she's walking with determination towards the door.
Okay. Siobhan, you did say you ran out the door.
Towards the door, so she's gonna open the door at the very least, and if something happens, something happens.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So opening the door, nothing happens at all. You see Gwyn kind of like walking towards the door.
She's not gonna let the door close until Gwyn's next to her, so that she can make sure Gwyn's out.
We'll say in this
keep moving.
Yeah, so in this regard, so we'll say Siobhan will kind of say this is your turn in this space. What are you doing? You open the door, doesn't even seem to look up.
Okay. I know D&D like initiative is weird, but she would want to make sure that Gwyn gets out the door first. Is that going to be a whole action to let Gwyn come out of the door?
No, I just need you to say it. That's all. That was it. Cool. Okay. You wait at the door, waiting for Gwyn to kind of walk through.
Yes.
Okay. Gwyn, you approach the door.
Yeah, just before I get there, though, she's going to turn back to the Alastaire in the room, and she's going to say, "You don't get to make this choice." And then she will walk through the door without another glance behind her.
Okay. Make me an intelligence saving throw.
Ooh, well, that's a natural 19, so...
Nice.
Plus intelligence is 2 for 21.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I will say with a 21, you are emboldened by that statement. You go to walk right as Siobhan is holding the door open, and you stop. because you know it's not going to be that easy, at least not for you. You look back, and I'll say with what was the roll you made?
Natural 19, so it was a 21.
21. Okay.
Oh, plus 1, so 22, right? Because I get a plus. No, not saving throws, right? With that thing. No. Okay, never mind.
You stop right before you walk through.
Yes.
And you guys hear the screams. You kind of like almost like hear the grunts from Yori and just the sounds of fighting. But you think to pause, and you look back at Alastaire, and this Alastaire, who is being so nonchalant, turning the pages in his book, you catch his eyes right before he darts back to his book. He was looking up at you, and he was probably a slight smirk as he looks back down.
Okay. I think without looking again towards the door, this time she will look, and even if he's not meeting her eyes, she's looking straight at him. And she will say, "This is his mind. You are the intruder here. Let us go out, or I won't be so nice."
Your choice: persuasion or intimidation.
She'll go with persuasion.
Okay, good choice.
That is a 21 again. I rolled lower, but it's still a +8.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. And persuading the idea to try to make it a little bit more of a, well, we'll roleplay it. You see him just kind of like looking up at you. I've waited this long. I can wait a little longer. Go help your friend. And with that, you feel like this, almost as if it's like kind of like scales that are coming away from the door. You feel that the door is truly open.
She will walk through, grabbing Siobhan on her way and tugging her with her.
All right. Siobhan, you follow?
Yeah.
You got it. Cool. We'll say so. It's 30. I would say that ends your movement, unless Siobhan, as soon as you're out the door, you're. I'd say you can dash if you wanted to, because it'd be 20 feet to cut up, and then.
It depends on what I see. And how far away
you definitely.
they are.
Yeah, you definitely hear that there's commotion there. You see it. You see that there's a space sort of down the hill where there's actually like a little bit of a path that comes down. But you see just the canopy of trees. This hill is very tall. Actually, sorry, it's not taller than the trees though. So, but yeah, you don't see them. I'll tell you that.
She's not going to leave Gwyn alone.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Well, there's nothing to indicate that her friends are there. It's just a screech of a creature, right?
I'll say for the sake of this moment, you hear familiar sounds of your friends fighting.
She's going to look at Gwyn like, what do I do? Do I leave you and go?
She'd just give you a little nod.
Then she's going to dash that direction.
Okay. Cool. In pretending to turn the pages, I legitimately lost my place. But we will switch back to the fight. Yori, you're up. It's your turn.
All right. D4 to start the turn. And then, solid 1 damage. Nice. And then I'd like to specifically use my action to try and turn its head away from Alastaire.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. We'll say it's a strength out. Well, you have advantage anyways, but yeah, strength saving throw with advantage. There you are. Found you.
That'll be 25.
Jesus, dude. Dirty 20. So you managed to kind of like pull it. Where are you pulling its head to?
I think just like down at the ground, just straight down at the ground. And I think he's going to just kind of grab it by the back of the head and just say, it's rude to stare. And then push his head down and then cast Healing Word at Alastaire again.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that fully works. Yes.
Yeah, good, because I only have 2 spell slots.
Nice.
Healed for 7.
Needed though.
Nice.
And that's it. That's the turn.
Okay, cool. You very cool. You have you've stuffed its head down into it is not looking at anybody. Its big sort of piece that makes it so much of a threat has been thwarted. It is now Nalani's turn. But I'm going to say, for the sake of being cool, did someone say something?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I thought, yeah.
Yep. No, it's absolutely, yeah. I was. Why did I make Yori go first?
I don't know.
Good question.
Too late.
Too late.
Honestly, I
Too
like
late.
that though. So
It was cool because I knew it was going to be
Thematically, it
cool.
works.
Yeah.
I'm that good. All right,
Great
good.
DMing.
All right, so Io's gonna back up, and he's, fuck with the wrong crew, and he's going to start off firing 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Okay.
Just basically arms akimbo. First hit is a 23, so I know that hits.
That hits.
Damage on that one is, wait, shit. Why did I lose it? Oh no, I didn't lose it. All right, that is 11 damage on that one.
Nice.
Second one totally misses, but
Okay. With advantage.
oh, with advantage. Okay, let's go again.
Yeah, we just went through this.
We did, but then there was a whole thing, and then I got confused. So
You're good. You're good.
okay. Again, same 23, so we know that's gonna be a
that
hit.
hits.
Okay, 9 damage on that one.
Nice.
Then quicken spell, so you see the magic roil up again. Bright pink. First beam. Oh, that's definitely a miss. They were both 3s.
Okay.
And then the last one is a 22 to hit, so I know that hits too.
Okay.
And that,
You're quick in spelling another Eldritch Blast, right?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
so 4 blasts in total.
Yep.
And that one does 13 damage.
So yeah, you missed with one of them. The last one you did 13 damage, right?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. It's on the ropes. It's barely there. And I'm not going to give it to Nalani. So Alastaire, you wake up.
Thanks. So
Only because Nalani's not here. Let's be clear.
Right
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Obviously.
So I assume this thing is, you've got it pinned to the ground. Is that what we said? The
Yeah,
mat.
It's,
you're-
it's kind
you're
of like
kind of-
half Nelson with his head face down, like,
Got
you know,
it.
so it's, yeah. It's not
Oh,
exactly-
even better. Face down. Awesome. Then I think I stand up and walk to the front of it. So if he's facing down, so I'm like looking at the top of its skull. And I think I'll open my hand and you'll see literally a small catapult appear in his hand. And if you bear with me, Joe, 3 glowing sharp rocks appear in the catapult, and
Nice.
he launches it.
You got it.
So, that is a nat 20, mother.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take that nat 20. Go ahead and roll that damage just for that one.
That's going to be 19 plus. We do max damage plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 19 plus 24.
Wow. Okay.
39, 43 damage. Yeah.
Well, still up. I'm just kidding. No. How do you do on your
So close, but 43 left.
It's on the ropes. No, go ahead, please. You destroy this thing. It only had 2 health remaining.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think you see all 3 rocks land right in its head and just stop. And I think it from there just kind of bluish, and it'll turn to purple as it kind of goes. The whole thing just kind of slowly evaporates from where each of those rocks hit until it's just not there anymore and blows away in the wind.
Okay. Cool. The what's left of the body of this creature goes completely limp. Lets go of Alastaire as Alastaire is kind of like pulling himself together, kind of coughing, and you see coming down the path, running first is Siobhan. Just appears before you guys, running, like trying to get. You're running to where the sounds are, and you see just Siobhan kind of just push herself through the trees or through bushes.
She's gonna look around and take a quick account. And if they look all okay and out of danger, she's just gonna go, "Fuck, Gwyn," and then run back to Gwyn.
Yeah.
'Cause if they look out of danger, she's gonna run away. If they don't, she's gonna stay. But it's up to.
I think you turn around, and you see Gwyn running towards you.
Actually,
Okay.
can I, for just a second, have a little? She is not running; she is flying, and you just see.
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah,
out,
cool.
Like out behind her is like, I don't know. Let's say it looks like sort of ribbons of ink, I guess, sort of propelling her forward as she's gonna just fly towards you guys because it sounds cool.
Hell yeah!
And the second Yori sees Kara come through the trees, he's going to drop both his enlarge and giant smite and just run straight toward her and just try to jump up and give her a big hug. And just,
as everything's
you're all
like
right.
slowly coming down. Yeah,
like just falling. Yeah, and maybe even going from large to flying, then straight toward her into a flying hug.
Nice.
You take 3d6 points of damage, Sean. No.
I'm dead. Yeah.
I would be dead. No, I think that was me. I would be dead.
Yeah.
Yori crushes Siobhan with a hug.
Yeah. Gwen looks basically undamaged.
Okay.
I think she took 2 points after everything.
So we'll say in this moment, as you guys are kind of catching your breath, you will say, to kind of make this kind of look cooler on this, you eventually let go of Siobhan, and you all kind of come up together to kind of like you're all kind of grouping around Alastaire. Alastaire, you can feel the wind has definitely been knocked out of you. You're hurting for sure. No one's really paying much attention to where Siobhan came from. Excuse me. And we'll say, Alastaire, oh, my headphones just died. Let's see. 1 second, gang. Can someone say something?
Can you hear
Hello.
me? I don't think
Testing.
You can hear us. Test.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. I can't
Yes,
hear you.
we can
Oh,
hear
well.
you.
And
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Someone talk now?
can you hear
Hello?
us?
Checking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somewhat.
Mhm.
So we'll say, just to reset the scene a little bit. So everyone's kind of grouping around Alistair. Alistair, you're kind of catching your breath as you're all looking at the space of all your friends, as far as you know. Right? There's always the feeling of like who's who, for a couple different reasons. But assuming that they're all there, you look up at the area from where Siobhan kind of ran down from. You see the bushes that Siobhan kind of like pushed through are gone. It's almost as if the trees didn't like move aside; they essentially just kind of like disappeared. And you see there is a very steep, with no steps whatsoever. Mechanically, probably not that big of a deal, but you know, it's just like it's another jab at you.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, the real Alastair would have a hard time getting up this hill. It's reminding you because it would be like one of those hills where it's like, no, never mind. I'm gonna find another way around.
Yeah.
A very steep hill as the camera moves away from Alastair and travels up that hill to another Alastair who is standing there on the door frame, book in hand, closes the book, and just looks up down the hill. And with that, we will end tonight's session.
Live.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right.